Press Here is available as a podcast on iTunes.
Welcome back to Press Here. Do not tell the bosses at NBC, but I am a big fan of the HBO show Silicon Valley. A new season debuts a week from today. It's a comedy, but it captures the real Silicon Valley very well. One of the repeating themes is the stress and strain experienced by startup founder Richard Hendricks, who visits his doctor for help with dealing with panic attacks.
And what do I do if I feel another panic attack coming on?
Would you be interested in a device that links up to your smartphone and it keeps track of your vitals and it tells you, even before it's happening, whether you're having a panic attack or an actual heart attack?
Yeah, that sounds great.
You would, right? Okay. That's great news because it's still in prototype phase right now, but my startup partners and I are looking for investors, like today.
Even doctors are pitching startups. And now that's a real thing. A doctor who made a device that measures your stress and sends information to your smartphone. This is the real life lab at Spire, where they do research on stress and relaxation. Dr. Neema Moraveji is Silicon Valley's expert on stress, the real-life doctor who made a stress device. He is co-founder at Spire and teaches a class on designing calm at Stanford's D School. I should point out, you are not the model for the doctor in Silicon Valley.
No, I'm not.
Okay, good to hear. Now, stress, I know how to reduce my stress. Get more sleep, go outside, don't drink as much wine, that kind of stuff. Take deep breaths. What are you doing that's going to surprise me?
Well, what we do is we provide feedback around a core life skill. And this is research that came out of our lab at Stanford, which is really around respiration. And respiration, we know about taking deep breaths, but the truth is that people don't know actually how to do that in their daily life. It's one thing to be able to do it when you're at a park, sitting in the grass somewhere, be able to take a deep breath. It's another when the stress is on, the pressure's on, and you need to be able to perform and not get worn down by all the demands that are made on you. So what we found is that respiration is actually what we consider a core life skill, to be able to modulate your breathing, which alters your brain chemistry and actually changes the activation levels in different parts of your brain to send signals to your body that, in fact, it's not under threat. And that helps us actually think more clearly and perform at our best. So really, it's not about relaxing, it's about performance.
It's interesting because on this show was it Calm?
Yes, Calm.
There was an app, and then there was some other device that I tried when I was at USA Today, where basically it would create the ease or it would create energy. Is this kind of a growing field, especially among Silicon Valley workers who are stressed out or need to tone things down?
When we started the company and launched the product, we thought that our customers were going to be Silicon Valley types, but we found that actually they're all over the country, all over the world, and they're not really the techies that we thought they were going to be. They're the 42-year-old soccer moms and the 38-year-old
Stress
dads.
is universal.
It really is.
Yeah, the kitchen in a busy restaurant or Wall Street or picking up the kids for soccer.
Absolutely, and just like you said, we know how to do these things, we know how to take a break, but the trouble is we don't.
So a sensor then tells you, hey, it's time to cool it. Have I got that fairly right?
That's one of the things it does. It sends you little nudges, right? So one of the things that happens when you're stressed is that your breathing starts to change. Right? Your pupils dilate, your heart rate changes.
You can detect that.
We detect that. That breathing pattern is, before you realize it, the sensor realizes it. And that gives you a little nudge through a vibration, it's like tapping on your shoulder, saying, hey, it might be time to take a deep breath. It's not saying you're stressed right now, because stress is actually a subjective experience. If you tell somebody you're stressed right now, they may not mean that, they may be really excited.
Sure.
And so it's not the job of the technology to do that. Rather, it's hard science. It's about your breathing and what's happening with your breathing. And if you're able to take that feedback and change your breathing, it is the same as being able to speak a language or to program a computer in today's world. It's something that every student is going to need to learn, because things are moving fast. There's a lot of diversion of our attention. So being able to have this life skill is the key between being able to perform in an exam or in a job interview and falling apart.
What if my idea of having some relaxation is playing Call of Duty?
Bringing it back to the start.
Battlefield.
Yeah. Absolutely. And that, we wouldn't call that necessarily relaxing, but it might be calming. It might kind of bring your mind to the present moment.
But your science can detect that Dean and I like to do what sounds like stressful things to relax.
It's a positive form of stress. And actually, it manifests itself differently in your brain and your body. So what happens is in positive stress, the breathing is not as erratic as in a negative amount of stress. So your breathing is faster than it normally is, but it's more consistent. It's more rhythmic.
Sure.
And we actually detect that in the app. We call it focus. And when you're playing Battlefield, you're probably in the zone. So
yes,
that in
right.
the zone.
So, and people, the zone is different for different people.
It's different for different people. People get into the zone doing different things. And you know, it's not a relaxing thing necessarily. It might be really engaging and exciting. And that's a great way to de-stress. So what happens is in our technology, we detect that change in the respiratory pattern, give you the feedback to say, hey, look, you weren't calm, but you were focused, and that's great.
Can I ask you what a designing calm class is? It's Stanford Design.
Stanford.
Yeah, what do you teach? I mean,
Yeah.
what's the curriculum like? I'm just curious.
Sure, yeah. So this is at the Stanford Design School. And what we do there is we bring students in through a multi-month experience where they are going out into the real world to identify groups of users, segments of users that they're trying to design for, understanding what they go through, and then putting themselves into those situations. So experiencing the stress that their users are going to go through. Then coming back to the lab, designing interfaces, designing prototypes, essentially testing.
For
with those.
instance,
Oh, for example, we had senior citizens who were anxious. They're disconnected from their extended family, the breakdown of the nuclear family,
Sure.
really. So how do you connect a senior citizen who's speaking a completely different language, media language, with their grandson or grandchild? How do you connect them? So that was an example of one of the many, many prototypes that we've done, including college students and
Dr.
exams.
Neema Moraveji, I'm getting stressed because I have to do the commercial, so I got you there.
Okay.
You're the chief scientist at Spire. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
Professor will be back in just a minute.
Great.